Welcome to Life Home Kids. Yeah!
Welcome to episode 16!
G'day. So, fun fact for you. I don't know if you've ever had braces before and you sound like a bit of a 5-year-old, but fun fact, Kate now has braces, so she sounds like she's back as a 5-year-old kid again. So, if she sounds a bit funny this episode, that's why. But hey, we are going to be learning about listening to your leaders. Listening to leaders. Sounds great. Sounds exciting.
So, I'm fantastic to be in Life Home with you this week. I wish I was in Laura's house. She had an awesome birthday cake, lots of lollies. Now we're going to Pet Corner and we're going to look at Maddie's lizard, Izzy.
Hi, my name's Maddie and this is my pet baby bearded dragon, Izzy. Izzy eats coriander, crickets, and every Sunday and Wednesday we have to powder her crickets so her bones get strong and healthy. I've got some coriander here. And I put it over her cage. So it's like a scavenger hunt. And we've got some crickets. We need to powder her crickets every Sunday and Wednesdays. And you put them in a special powder. And Izzy needs to eat them so she can get big and strong. 6 to 8 crickets we need to feed her. When we feed her, we have to make sure she doesn't jump out of the cage. And before we were trying to hold her and Izzy jumped out of the cage. She's trying to bite it. I think that's all of them. And you can tell Izzy's been at this bit of coriander because there's wet little bits on here. I like about Izzy that she's frisky. And every time Daddy tries to catch her, she keeps climbing up his arm and she came up here. And when we were trying to hold her, Izzy jumped out and she ran into the corner. Bye.
Hey, thank you, Maddie, for showing us your Lizzie, Izzy. How cool is that?
It's
Is that
such
our
a
first
cool
lizard?
name. I love the name.
I love lizards. Hey, but we're going to be going into Leaders Camp now. So who do we have this week, Kate?
We have Tim.
Tim.
My first round of thought, what would happen if you got 2 private investigators to investigate each other? Who would win? How does a dolphin play the trumpet? Does he play with his mouth? Or does he play with the blowhole onto his back? Just a thought. Proverbs is like God's Twitter, and Psalms is like David's mixtape. He's a rapper. Since Adam and Eve were the first people on the planet that God made, does that mean every argument they have was considered a world war?
Thanks, Tim, for that Leaders Camp. Great seeing you, what you do. So, hey, Seb, what are we going on to next?
Now we're going to be heading into the big word.
Oh,
so obviously
yes.
we're talking about being wise and listening to our leaders. And I think some of the most important leaders in our life are our parents, aren't they? Of course,
Very true.
Of course.
Very true.
Now, there's a verse about this, and this is our big word for today, and it's from Proverbs chapter 1, verse 8. And the verse goes like this. Kids, listen to your father's teaching and don't forget your mother's advice. Now, that is so important because our father could be, it doesn't just mean father in this verse, but it could mean like our teachers at school.
Very true.
It could mean
Yep.
our leaders at kids church
Yep.
on Sunday mornings. It could be literally everyone who
Yeah.
we look up to and respect and who
Very true.
cares about us and sport
Great.
coach, yeah.
Yep.
But
Great.
basically, we want to listen to them because they love us and they want the best.
Very
for us.
true.
Now,
It's great.
we're gonna do it one more time, but this time, Jacob, I want you to act like a kid.
Ooh.
Yes.
No,
There we
no.
go. And
down.
Wayne, you're gonna be a mother. Okay, and I'm gonna be the father in this situation. So now, kids, remember this: Proverbs chapter 1, verse 8. Listen to your father's teaching, but also don't forget your mother's advice. Isn't this lovely here? Anyway, we're going to be going into Connect now, aren't we, guys?
That's
Jacob
right.
loves it. So
Connect.
we know the dance, and it's like the Connect. Connect.
Hey guys, we're so glad you're back. We have lots more story to tell.
It's a fairy tale.
It's an adventure quest. Ignore her. But it's about to get real awesome. But first, it's time to
Rehearse the verse.
And today's verse is found in the book of Proverbs, chapter 1, verse 8. Say it like this. Proverbs 1:8. My child, listen when your father corrects you. Don't neglect your mother's instruction. Now, I'm going to say it and you're going to repeat after me. Got it?
Got it.
All right. Proverbs 1:8.
Proverbs 1:8.
My child, listen when your father corrects you.
My child, listen when your father corrects you.
Don't neglect your mother's instruction.
Don't neglect your mother's instruction. You guys did great.
So, I wonder what the next thing that's going to happen in our adventure quest.
You mean the fairy tale?
I mean the adventure quest.
Perhaps we should pick up where we left off.
Right. So, where were we again?
We ended with the dark lady in her tower.
So the king sent a knight to save his daughter. I just had a feeling he would try something like this. The knight is growing wiser and wiser, but not wise enough. The dark forest is full of all sorts of traps, including one of my own. One that will be almost impossible for him not to fall into.
Well, I think we should start with the knight. And he's really tired. And he falls. But just before he's about to give up,
Oh, thank goodness. Thank you.
Welcome, son. Sit. Rest. You look like you have been on a long journey.
I don't know about this guy. Got to be wise.
I have.
The king sent you. It's all right, son. The king sent me to you.
How do I know that's true?
Right after the king sent you on your journey, he talked to me. I sent a knight to find the flower that can heal my daughter. But I have a feeling he's going to need some help making wise decisions along the way. Now, I can't be there to guide him, so I'm asking you, old friend, to find him. You know the dark forest better than anyone.
How do I know that's true?
You don't? If I were you, I would ask God whether you can trust me or not.
Pause. Pray. Pick. God, can I trust this guy?
Let me ask you something.
What did the king tell me to do if I wanted wisdom?
Pause, pray, pick. And he told you for your first challenge, you would have to choose God's way above your own to make the wise choice. And for the second challenge, you would have to ask God for his wisdom to make the right choice.
So how can you help me?
I have been sent to warn you about the Black Cave on the map the king gave you. Take a look. See the warning there? You must go through the cave, no matter what happens.
Sounds easy enough.
I'm afraid it won't be quite that easy.
What do you mean?
Well, you're going to have to discover that on your own.
Oh, I see. Can't you just tell me?
My son, if you want to grow in wisdom, you will have to make these decisions as they come. Plus, if I told you now, you may turn back.
That bad, huh?
For you, it will be.
Do you know anything about the king's daughter?
Princess Rose.
Yeah, what happened to her?
That is a long story for another time. If only she had listened to the wise advice of her father. But you are here now, and all will be well again once you find the flower.
If I find the flower.
When you find the flower.
You know, for a second there, you looked an awful lot like the king.
Well, we are good friends. Go. Get some rest.
So, what's next?
The next morning, the knight gets up, looks at his map, and starts walking through the dark forest.
Morning already? Really? Was it all just a dream? No, the fire's still warm. Guess there's nothing left to do but follow the map to the Black Forest.
Okay, so the knight is on his way. I was thinking that this should happen next.
Well, I guess this is the Black Cave. Oh, you've got to be joking.
What's in the cave? Snakes?
Snakes? Nah. What if the cave's actually a superhero secret lair?
It seems a hiding place for superheroes does not belong in this story.
Nitro has a point. I know. The cave is full of bats.
Bats? Oh, I hate bats. Why do you do this to me? Okay. Now the monk said I had to go through the Black Cave. But man, I hate bats. I mean, I know I'm supposed to be the brave knight and everything, but... I mean, come on. They have skin wings. Wait a minute. Why do I have to do what the monk tells me to do? I bet I could go around the cave. That'd be smart.
I don't know. That doesn't seem like a very wise choice.
Well, what do you guys think?
Yeah, shout it out. Should the knight go through the cave like the monk said, or should he go around it?
Wait a minute. What did the king tell me for my third challenge? It's probably what this is. Pause, pray, pick. God, what did he say? I really want to make the wise choice here.
Listen to the good advice of your leaders.
Well, I guess the monk is one of my leaders. All right, here I go. That wasn't that bad.
What is it?
Yeah, I'd kind of like to know that too.
Wait for it.
What happens next?
Please be something good.
I think the knight and the rock monster should have a huge fight.
No. That would be too scary.
What? No fight scene? Come on, man.
Oh, I know. This is what should happen next.
Thanks for getting me out of that one. Boy, I sure am glad I decided to listen to the monk's advice. Sure wish he was here right now. Might as well keep going. Let's see. This says I should be coming upon some sort of weird cottage or something. What? How did you?
I see you made it through the cave.
Barely.
That doesn't matter. What matters is you made the wise choice to follow my advice. Come, warm yourself by the fire. You can tell me all about what happened and how you came to make the decision you did.
I want to know that too. How did the knight know to go through the cave?
He did it by listening to the good advice from the monk.
Wait, so listening to good advice is important?
Sure it is. Oh, I just read about that. Let me find it. Oh, here it is. It's about another king named Rehoboam.
King Roomba Hooba?
Just watch.
This is his 66 picks mixed up into one. The book's about God, who he is and what he's done. It's the Holy Bible, y'all, with God's truth packed tight inside. It's a life of prize to hide in your heart and in your mind. Old Testaments are set up for the big event when Jesus crashed the scene with a new arrangement. It's history, his story, whose story, God's story. Oh, the story of how much he loves me. Let it blow up all the cages, let this show go live. Let his word explode from this video into your life.
After King Solomon died, his son Rehoboam became king.
Yay! I'm the king now!
The people sent a leader to the new king to speak up for them.
So, how's everything going?
Not so good. Listen, we've worked hard for your father. He made us pay lots of taxes and forced us to work building his palaces. Please give us some rest and we'll be willing to serve you.
I'll tell you what. Give me 3 days to think it over, then come back.
King Rehoboam decided to talk it over with the same men who gave his father, King Solomon, wise advice.
So what should I do? How do you think I should answer the people?
If you will be a servant to the people, have compassion, and work things out with them. They'll end up doing anything for you.
Yes, Your Majesty. That would be the wise thing to do.
Hey, I'm not sure you guys are right. After all, you guys are old. What do you guys think? Should I lighten up on the people? Now tell me what you really think. After all, we have grown up together.
Forget about what those old geezers told you.
Yeah, the people are just being a bunch of whiners. Hey, I know what you should tell them. Tell them my little finger is thicker than my father's waist. If you think my dad worked you hard, you haven't seen the half of it.
Yeah, and then you should say, my dad hit you with whips, but I'll beat you up with chains. That'll show him who's king.
You guys are right. Those old guys don't even know what they're talking about.
3 days later, Jeroboam and the people showed up to hear what King Rehoboam had to say.
Hey, if you think my dad worked you hard, you haven't seen half of it. My dad hit you with whips, but I'll beat you up with chains. What do you think about that?
Get lost, King Rehoboam. We've had it with you.
Go ahead, go. What do I care?
Because King Rehoboam didn't listen to the wise advice of his leaders, the kingdom of Israel was split in half. Instead of ruling over all of Israel, as his father Solomon did, King Rehoboam only ruled over the towns of Judah. The rest of the tribes went with Jeroboam, and he ruled over them.
See, Rehoboam ignored good advice from the leaders of his kingdom, and he made a really bad choice and lost a lot of his kingdom because of it.
So listening to good advice is like really important. You know, speaking of good advice, do you guys mind if I...
Go ahead, Mike. We got this.
All right. To the room.
Now, where were we?
The knight is peacefully sitting by the fire, talking to the monk. It's like the calm before the storm. Suddenly, they hear a twig snap, and something growls from the forest. They see it coming toward them.
How about we save the storm for our next meeting? I think we should wrap this up for today.
Fine.
So, it seems like you're making a wise decision even when faced with fear.
I'm just glad I was wise enough to remember what you told me. Anything else you want to warn me about?
Be careful of the Dark Lady.
Got it. Who?
We don't have time for me to tell you the whole story, but what you do need to know is that the Dark Lady wants to rule the kingdom instead of the king. She's out to destroy everything and everyone that the king holds dear. That means his daughter. And since you're helping his daughter...
She's out to destroy me, too. Got it. I'll be on the lookout for her. Well, guess I better be going. Thank you for all of your kindness, sir. Note to self, beware the creepy-looking lady trying to destroy me.
Great. Now, I think we should go back to the Dark Lady.
So, I see you followed wise advice. You may be growing in wisdom, but not enough to stop me.
Hi, room.
Hello, Mike. How can I help you?
Well, as you know, we are writing a story and the hero just made a really good, wise choice by listening to good advice.
I am happy to hear that. It sounds like your story is coming along well.
Yeah, but how do I know who to listen to when I get advice? I mean, I've never found a monk in the woods.
God puts many people in your life who can guide you with their wisdom.
I don't think I quite get it. Maybe I need to see today's verse. Proverbs 1:8. My child, listen when your father corrects you. Don't neglect your mother's instructions. And I know it's important to listen to your parents, but I don't have parents. what then?
God places leaders in your life who can fill you with His wisdom, like your teachers, coaches, and leaders at church.
Like Ray here on Connect Station. She loves Jesus and she gives really great advice.
That's wonderful, Mike. It is important to listen to those who lead us. The Bible says those who don't listen are foolish.
Like Rinabunabunaboo. Like Rehoboam. He ignored the good advice from the leaders that had run the kingdom for a long time and instead listened to the bad advice from his unwise friends. He almost lost his whole kingdom.
Yes, King Rehoboam was not wise. He was foolish. It is important to listen to wise people who follow God, like your leaders.
Well, I don't want to be foolish. So if anybody comes to me for advice, I'm gonna say, be wise. Listen to your leaders. That's the point. Be wise, listen to your leaders.
Very good, Mike. When you do that, you will grow in wisdom.
Thanks for your advice, Rue.
You're very welcome, Mike.
All right. Away.
Hey look, Mike's back, just in time.
Our story's getting pretty exciting. There was a magic mirror, and then poof, the dark lady turned into a different lady.
And we'll get you up to speed later on that. But first, tell us how the room was.
The room was awesome. I discovered the point.
Well, you know, you have to tell us. What's the point?
Okay. Be wise. Listen to your leaders.
Hey, that's you.
Let's all say it together.
Be wise, listen to your leaders.
And that includes our very first leaders, our parents. Let's all say the verse together.
Proverbs 1:8. My child, listen when your father corrects you. Don't neglect your mother's instructions.
Now, remember, be sure all of you come back.
Yeah, we'll be working on the story and you don't want to miss that.
And in the meantime, if you ever need advice, go to someone that follows God, like your leaders. And most importantly, remember, pause, pray, pick.
We're all faced with tough decisions sometimes. And when those times come, it's always a good idea to seek advice from others. But once you do, be wise. Listen to your leaders. Now, the most important choice you will ever make is making Jesus the leader of your life. And if you haven't done that, I hope you'll make the wise choice and make him the leader of your life today. To do that, remember A, B, C. A, admit. Admit that you've done wrong and ask God to forgive you for disobeying him. B, believe. Believe God sent Jesus to take the punishment for your sin. Trust that you're forgiven because Jesus made you right with God. C, choose. Choose to spend your whole life depending on God's power to help you say no to sin. As you live and love like Jesus, tell others God is the leader of your life and your number one friend.
Hey, what a great Connect activity. I love Connect. They always do some great things on there. So today we're going to be talking about how the Bible says it's important to listen to what our leaders have to say. Well, who are our leaders? Let's think. Maybe our parents, maybe our teachers, police officers, your kids' leaders, maybe your coach or your piano teacher. They're our leaders. Now, our leaders often have things that they often ask us to do, and this is just keep us safe or because they want the best thing for us. Our teachers know that if we do our spelling, we get to learn, and that's really important. Another thing is police officers, they keep us safe, they know what's best for us, and we can go to them when we need help. And that's what, God puts leaders in our lives so that we can come to our leaders and we can learn from them. I'm going to tell you about a guy called Noah, and he was a leader in his community. And God said to him, "Noah, it's going to rain." He knew that God wanted him to build a boat to stop the rains from coming and to stop the flooding from drowning him and his family and his friends. So he said, God, I'll build a boat so that I keep my friends and family safe. And he was telling his friends and his neighbours and his community, I'm building a boat, the rains are coming, you got to come on the boat with me when I'm finished building because otherwise you're going to drown. Everybody laughed at him. They thought it was hilarious. They made jokes about him. They were teasing him. They said, oh, you want to know a weirdo? I know a guy. And they were saying horrible things like that. But you know, when it came down to it, Noah and his family, they were safe on the boat and they listened to God and they stayed safe and they didn't drown in the water. Unfortunately, for everyone who didn't listen to Noah, who thought his ideas were crazy, they drowned. They didn't listen to their leader and they weren't being wise. You know, God wants us to be wise and to listen to our leaders and do what they say. You know, it's really important because God, He puts these leaders in place and they help take care of us. You know, and it's not just about doing what they say, but it's also about having a good attitude about it. What if your mum asked you to do the dishes and you do them and you sit there the whole time doing, oh, I hate my mum. I hate that she makes me do the dishes. Johnny never gets to do the dishes. How come I always have to do them? This is not right. I'm not sharing my iPad with Johnny. And you have all this bad attitude coming through while you're doing the dishes. Well, that's not healthy at all. It's going to make us unkind. It's going to not help our relationship with our mum who's asked us to do our dishes. So when we are having a good attitude, we could be thinking about all the good things about listening to our mum. And you know, it's actually okay that she's asked me to do the dishes because I know that when it's all over, I can do what I want to do. In fact, I had this thing with my dad. My dad had got angry at me. I hadn't done a job properly on the farm and he got pretty mad. I got told off. As he walked away, I thought to myself, I could have a bad attitude about this and I could be angry at him. Or I could talk to God, you know, because I could remember that God, He loves me, that He cares for me, and that He's always going to be with me. And when I'm praying to God and I'm talking with Him, God reminded me that it wasn't the worst thing in the world. In fact, it was okay. You know, and Dad, he was angry, but that's okay. I could do my best next time and get it right. So it's really important when we're listening to our leaders and we're doing what they say, that we actually have a good attitude about it too. So today we've really talked about how it's important to listen to our parents, our teachers, and our leaders. Maybe you could try this when you go to school, to your netball training, football training. You could try it out too. What do you reckon? I think so too. Shall we pray? We can actually pray and ask God to help us be a really good leader, listen to our leaders, and to have a good attitude about it. Let's pray. Dear God, I thank you so much that you're with me all the time and that you can help me have a good attitude, even when I have to do things that I don't really care about. God, I thank you that I have leaders in my life who look out for me and help me and be the best person that I can be. In Jesus' name, amen. Excellent. Hey, if you didn't know that Jesus could be your best friend, then we here at church, we do our ABCs. First, we admit. And we admit to God that, yes, we have made mistakes, but it's okay now because they're all gone. Because what Jesus has done for us on the cross, we get to believe. We get to believe that He loves us and He died for us and that we're always going to be with Him. And C, we confess. We confess to our friends and our family that Jesus is our best friend and we can tell everybody about He's always with us in our life. So remember, A, admit, B, believe, and C, confess. That's awesome, and we're going to pray for you right now so that you can be part of God's forever family. You can pray with me. Dear Jesus, thank you so much for being my forever friend. I'm sorry for all the mistakes I've made and that I haven't always listened to you and I haven't been part of your life. God, please come into my life and help me learn to listen to you and follow you with all my heart. In Jesus' name, amen. Fantastic. So now we're going to Kate and Wayne and they're going to be going to our house packs. Let's go over there.
Thank you, Rachel. That was awesome. Listening to your leaders, that's a really good thing to do, especially when I'm your leader. I like you to listen to me.
Yes, and me.
And
even though I'm
especially
young, still listen to me.
Kate, a little bit younger than me.
Only a little bit.
Only a little bit.
But
Okay.
right now, we have house packs.
Wow.
So,
What's in them this week,
let's
Kate?
open them. Ooh,
Wow.
I remember these.
Yes, so do I. Can't remember what they're called, but they're pretty
Neither do
special.
I actually. But they're yummy, so enjoy them.
And
Ooh, a bouncy ball.
Bouncy ball.
I have a crayon.
Oh,
So you might have a special toy. Special toy
special toy for everybody.
from the leaders for every person. And what's left?
A maze.
A maze. You gotta work all the way from one side through to the other.
Okay, so you've got 10 minutes to do your pack.
Yep.
We'll put the countdown on now. 1, 2, 3, go
Let's
for
go!
Okay, kids, did you enjoy that pack? I hope you've picked up your lollies and lolly papers and had a fun time. Jacob, what's next?
It is time for So Good! So good! So hey, let's jump up, let's get practicing, let's get some dance moves going, let's bit of that Macarena, hey, jump up to your feet, let's get ready to dance, praise. Anyone can dance better than me, so do it. Let's
Have
go,
fun
So
week.
Good.
Inside me, the moment you came into my life, I felt your power, it lifted me higher. Now I'm on fire, burning for you. Let's go! No, I'm not mistaken in who I'm praising. You are the reason that I'm alive. 'Cause Jesus, you came in and everything's changing. So I am praising, lifting. Come on, let's lift Jesus high tonight. God, you're so good. God, you're so good. There's nobody like you. There is no one like you. God, you're so good. God, you're so good. There's nobody like you. Yeah, there is no one like you. Oh, there's nothing better, Lord, than your presence. I wanna stay here all of my days. 'Cause it's so releasing, here in your freedom. So I am praising, lifting your name. God, you're so good. God, there's nobody like you. Hey, there is no one like you. God, you're so good. God, you're so good. There's nobody like you. Oh, there is no. Let's go. Here we go now. Say whoa, say whoa, say whoa. Oh, there is no one like you. Come on, say whoa, say whoa, say whoa, yeah. Oh, there is no one like you. La 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 la. Play and shake and sing. Woo! God, you're so good. There's nobody like you. Oh, there is no one like you. We lift you up. Oh, we lift you up. There's nobody like you. Come on, let's praise him. 1, 2, 3, go. Oh, there is no one like you. There's nobody like Jesus. Come on, Josh, why don't you praise him on that bass tonight?
Yes. So plan look great. Plan is to make my hair as
Adjust his glasses.
So when I get it shaved off in a couple of weeks, I won't
Perfect.
That's great.
Oh.